Once considered the epicenter of the pandemic, New York City is in phase 1 now of reopening, but of course under certain guidelines. Dr. Ken is here. Redcross joins us from New Rochelle, New York, to update us on the numbers and this partial reopening. Good morning to you.
Oh, good morning. Thank you so much for having me on, Yetta. I am so excited to say that this is day 100 since we dealt with the coronavirus. And you're right, we're in phase 1. So now you're going to see a lot of smiles under our mask.
Yes, that's good to hear. But NYC really was the epicenter of this, and mainly because of how dense it is out there. So I would think as soon as you start to reopen, even partially, you're right back to where you started.
You know, and you're right, especially here in New York. You know, phase 1 for us is 400,000 people going back to work, from the non-essential construction workers to some retail, some restaurants as far as curbside, and also manufacturing. So you're right. One of the questions I'm getting from a lot of patients is, what do I do now? Well, the most important thing that I told them, even when coronavirus was really rampant, is to make sure that we're focusing on our immune system. And we do that with vitamin D. And there's also a medicinal mushroom compound called AHCC, which has activities against viruses and bacteria. So both of those are very important for our immune system. So now that we're opening up, let's make sure that we continue to stay focused.
Okay, let's talk about phase 1. What will be reopening today?
Well, you know, what we're finding is that the non-essential construction workers are the ones that's going. So when you're here in New York City, when you go down there, it's a beautiful sight, Yetta, because you're seeing that we're getting back to work. And the other beautiful sight is that you're seeing masks no matter what. You're also seeing a lot of the curbside. Here in New York, we love our restaurants. And so those beautiful restaurants are now getting an opportunity to get a little more revenue going as well. And last but not least, manufacturing. It's a huge part of what New York City is all about when people come. So we're kind of leveraging the fact of using more machines and using people as well. So this is a big stage for us. And especially when you're talking about some places focused and dense as New York, this is a beautiful sight to see.
So it's mostly people going back to work, not necessarily people populating the places that we're used to seeing in New York.
No, and you're right. And one other thing is, if any of you have been so fortunate and blessed to visit my beautiful city, you'll also understand the importance of public transportation, because almost 10 million people a day use the subway and use the bus system. Right. So we have to make sure that we're vigilant with that as the phases come as well, and do our best to social distance and continue to wear a mask. But as you can imagine, Yetta, it's a little bit challenging when you have 10 million people typically traveling a day.
And let's talk about that, because here in Arizona, we reopened, and as soon as we did, we are seeing a spike, as some other cities are as well. Are you guys predicting that out in New York?
You know, we are, and it's only inevitable. But I'll tell you this, when I first came on the show some months ago, about 3 months ago, we were having almost 500 people lose their life each and every day. Now we're down to about 45. Now that's 45 too many. I'm only sharing that to show that we're going the right direction, but you're right. As we open up, we're going to have to be a little more vigilant, but hopefully we're going to be able to check for fevers. We're going to be able to make sure before you enter these spaces to jump on this, especially using contact tracing and some of those things. So hopefully that makes it a little bit easier, in addition to making sure that we stay focused on our immune system, as I mentioned before.
It's going to be quite a different New York, at least for the short term. But of course, all of us are waiting for everything to get back to normal, including the Big Apple. So thank you for your insight, Doctor.
Oh, thank you for having me on, Yetta. Stay well, everybody.
Same to you.